You say you're tired, burned out, drained. You tell yourself you just need rest, a break, a weekend without pressure. But what if I told you you're not tired at all? You're not exhausted. You're empty, hollow, spiritually starving, and no amount of sleep will fix that. There's a kind of fatigue that doesn't live in your body. It lives in your soul. It crawls behind your eyes when you smile. It lingers in your chest when you're scrolling endlessly. It sits in the silence and whispers that something's missing. And you know what? It's right. Something is missing. You're not burned out from working too hard. You're burned out from living without purpose, from doing too little of what truly matters, from feeding your mind everything except what it actually needs. This isn't about energy, it's about meaning. You move all day, but feel nowhere closer. You achieve, but feel nothing. You laugh, but feel numb, because your spirit's been starving, and no one ever taught you how to feed it. You've been feeding your body, but starving your soul. That's why rest doesn't help anymore. You sleep for 8 hours, wake up heavy. You scroll to escape, and end up emptier. You cancel plans to recharge, but the silence just reminds you of the void. What you're feeling isn't fatigue, it's disconnection. Disconnection from purpose, from presence, from power. You think you're just stressed, overworked, but you've lived too long without meaning, and that's poison. This world taught you how to grind, how to produce, how to consume, but it never taught you how to be still, how to be whole, how to sit with yourself without running. That's why you panic when you're alone. That's why the silence feels loud, because you've mistaken movement for meaning and forgotten how to just exist. But here's the truth. You don't need more noise. You need depth, stillness, a reconnection with the part of you that doesn't care about likes, notifications, or timelines. That's where real strength comes from, not the body, the spirit. You've tried to fill that emptiness, haven't you, with entertainment, with people, with noise, but distraction doesn't heal, it only delays, so the void stays, lurking behind every moment of silence, waiting, and when it finally catches up to you, it whispers the one question you've been avoiding. What are you living for? Not what you're chasing, not what you're paid to do, but what you're here to become. The hunger inside you, it's not for comfort, it's for clarity. The body can rest, but the soul needs meaning. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the known world, once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." So ask yourself, what are you building? When no one's watching, what do you stand for? When the lights go out, here's the truth. You don't rise by adding more. You rise by subtracting everything that steals your fire. Less noise, more depth, less distraction, more purpose. Burn the shallow to make room for the sacred. You want to feel alive again? Then stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for clarity before you act, because clarity doesn't come first. Action does. You've been standing at the edge of your own life, analyzing, worrying, overthinking how cold the water might be. But the moment you jump, the noise disappears, the doubt fades, the mind quiets. You don't heal by thinking more, you heal by moving. One step, one decision, one breath at a time. Stillness breeds fear, but motion unlocks strength. Write, walk, lift, build, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," and he was right. You've lived through entire tragedies in your head, battles that never happened, losses you never truly faced. It's time to stop bleeding for phantoms and start fighting for what's real. So move. Move even if you're unsure. Move even if your hands shake. Because motion kills fear faster than thought ever could. You want peace? Then let go of what you can't control. You've been gripping life with clenched fists, trying to control outcomes, conversations, people, the past. But control is a lie. The more you try to hold on, the more the world slips through your fingers. That's why your mind never rests, because it's busy managing the impossible. So here's what the Stoics knew. There are only two categories in life: what's within your power and what's not. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions. That's your domain. Everything else, let it burn. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to fix the past. You don't need to predict tomorrow. You just need to choose right now. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." And he was right. When you release control, you release tension. You release fear. You release the burden of carrying a world that was never yours to carry. Let it go. Not because you're weak, but because you're finally strong enough to trust what's yours and drop what's not. You've spent years thinking fatigue was your enemy, but it wasn't. It was a signal, a whisper from within that you've been living shallow, that your soul has gone unfed, and now you know the truth. You're not tired. You're starving. Starving for silence, for truth, for presence, for depth. So here's the practice. Don't fill every quiet moment with noise. Let it be quiet. Sit in stillness. Write your chaos into clarity. Move not to escape, but to return to yourself. When your mind spirals, ask, is this mine to control? If yes, act. If no, release. Repeat this until it becomes instinct, because that's how warriors are built. Not in war, but in stillness. Marcus Aurelius did it. Seneca did it. And now, so can you. You're not the thoughts in your head. You're the one who observes them, the one who directs the spotlight, the one who chooses what stays and what fades. So don't just survive. Reclaim your energy, refocus your mind, rebuild your fire, because this world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who are still, strong, clear, and rooted. And if this message found you, then maybe you were meant to hear it. So let me ask you, what's the one thing your spirit has been starving for? Drop it in the comments. Let it out. Say it loud, or whisper it, but name it. And maybe, just maybe, that's where your healing begins. Until then, stay sharp, stay still, and don't let the noise steal the life you were born to live.